Alright everyone, it's time for a bit longer a take on today's dual Supreme Court decisions, both of great import for the Republic, both of which were good decisions, and I'll explain that of course. I would do this inside, it's got better lighting and I can get 60 FPS, but the baby is asleep. Do not wake the baby when the baby is asleep, of course, dad mode engaged. First we had, of course, as I briefly talked about in my short earlier, the decision with regards to student loan debt. Now, there were two plaintiffs in this case, two groups of plaintiffs. One were student loan borrowers. They were denied. The Supreme Court ruled 9-0 against them. They did not grant them standing to actually bring the case. For the states, they ruled 6-3 in favor of the plaintiffs against Joe Biden. So now you've got an avalanche of salt right now. It's like a gigantic sea glacier sloughing off into the goddamn North Atlantic or something like that. It's incredible. On top of affirmative action, it's literally incredible. I'm going to be spending some time tonight harvesting a little bit of salt. You got to restock sometimes. Of course, it's good in a number of dishes, you will know. I agree with the decision, 6-3. Joe Biden does not have the legal authority to unilaterally use the HEROES Act to grant student loan debt forgiveness, and I use that term loosely. It's not really what it would be. It would really be a bunch of taxpayers, many of which never went to college, some of which attended college. They were poor at the time, but they've still paid off their loans. It'd be screwing them. It'd be screwing somebody like me. When I went to college, I got Pell Grants. I got, I got some money from the government because I was poor. And now I've succeeded, and I've paid down most of my student loans at this point. But I would still be footing the bill for it, despite the fact that I still do have some student loan money that I owe, simply because I've become too successful many, many years after dropping out of UVM. I make too much money to qualify for any of that forgiveness. So it's unfair. It doesn't make sense for somebody in the working class who never went to college, someone who went to a trade school, has no debt or something, to foot the bill for people who, in many cases, are at least on the margins of the upper middle class, which is what that threshold goes to. The second decision has to do with LGBTQ rights. Well, not really. It really has to do with the rights of freelancers. Of course, a web developer in the state of Colorado was sued for not making the gay marriage website for a potential client, saying, well, it violates my religious liberty. I don't want to make your gay marriage website. I'm a freelance developer. I have the right to do business with whoever I want. I don't have to work for anyone, effectively, is the argument, who I don't want to work for. And the Supreme Court, again, 6-3, upheld that view. This is actually a good thing, and liberals out there, id poll, woke people, you won with this decision. Everyone won with this decision. If this decision had not gone in favor of the defendant, if SCOTUS had sided with the plaintiffs in this case, effectively you'd be saying that if somebody came to you and wanted a website promoting the super straight lifestyle, knowing full well that the developer was flamingly gay or something, they would have no choice but to develop it. A person like me who's a pagan could go to a Christian website developer and say, you know what, I really want the shrinetolucifer.com domain to be developed. And you don't have any choice because it's a protected category, religion of course, you don't have any choice but to develop it. It would have been a shit show. It would have led to protracted litigation up and down from all sides because people would begin trolling one another. If they had any means to do so, why wouldn't they do so? It'd be hilarious. Hey, I'm going to deliberately force you. You're a freelancer. You're self-employed. All you do is you type away at code and you develop websites. I'm going to force you to work for me and develop a website that is completely anathema to all of your views. This would have, shoe on the other foot, this definitely would have been used against, left-leaning groups, religious ideologies that tend to lean left, etc. Imagine that somebody is a Christian white nationalist, and they go deliberately to a Jewish website developer and say, look, you can't deny me. According to SCOTUS, you have no choice but to make my swastika-ridden website, which praises the idea that Jesus Christ was Germanic or something like that. Everyone wins with that decision. As far as student loans, there are some losers. Individuals that still owe a lot, they may be, in troubled times as far as the economy goes, and under Bidenomics, many people are. By and large, though, these decisions knock it out of the park. They conform easily to any reasonable understanding of the Constitution, as does the affirmative action decision as well. Effectively, right now, there are people out there that are spicy at the Supreme Court for not allowing them to discriminate in college admissions in taxpayer-funded universities and colleges, not allowing them to discriminate based on race, not allowing you to force other people who are freelancing to do work on your behalf who you completely ideologically disagree with, and not wreck the economy by making people who never went to college or are poor in many cases still pay more taxes and or suffer higher inflation because the executive branch wants to absorb what is constitutionally a function of the legislature. The House controls the purse strings. The House of Representatives makes budgets. It is not in the purview of the United States president at the executive level to randomly disperse hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars, and it probably would have been more than that in the end, by the way, to people who do not, in some cases, even need that money, taking it, draining it from people in some cases that do need a hand up, that actually are disenfranchised. So congrats to the Supreme Court. And by the way, Joe Biden right now probably feeling really, really sad because Clarence Thomas has bested him once again. It's time for some Dear Joseph memes, I think. I'll be shitposting a little bit later. That's about all. Peace out.